It was always a dream I had in my heart that one day I want to build a steel plant.
I think this 25 years of JSW, it is a flashback.
How much effort, how much hard work, how much vision, it's truly remarkable.
From a barren land, now heading to become the largest single plant location in the world. That's how Vijayanagar has transformed.
So I think always aiming big and believing that it can happen. I think that has made this company or this group so big today.
We always believe that our status quo is to challenge the challenges.
When I was growing up, my dad was building a small steel plant in our hometown in Hisar. And India was, going through that licensing period, and there was a shortage of steel, and everything was under licensing control. Integrated steel plants were not allowed to be built. So, but it was always a dream as a child, as a growing child, that I had in my heart that one day I want to build a steel plant, integrated steel plant. But then it was not permitted, and 91 when the IMF-led reforms happened in India and the licensing was abolished, I felt that that was an opportunity for me to jump into this.
When we came here in 1994, it was an absolute barren land with nothing available over here. No water, no skilled workforce, no raw material coking coal available, no power.
When I went first to Vijayanagar, I went along with my older brother. I had never really seen a big barren site. I told to my brother that how will a steel plant of this magnitude be built here? There is nothing, there is no railway line, there is no highway, there is no power connection, there is no water here, and it's all undulated land. So, how do you think we will do it? So he said that, were you expecting to build a steel plant in Bombay? So I said, no, not in Bombay, but somewhere which is a little greener, little better. This is so dry. He said, no, you pitch a tent and bring your A team here and start working and build the plant.
Because the difficult terrain and because of constraints of transportation, electricity, water, etc., nobody really took the risk of putting up a steel plant in that area. Benefit was that it was a couple of kilometers from the iron ore mines, and so therefore you had access at a very close proximity to the main raw material of steel making, which is iron ore. Mr. Jindal took that risk at a very young age at that point of time and decided to build a steel plant there.
My first memory is Dad used to live in a almost like a pota cabin sort of a house. There were 4 pota cabins. In one pota cabin we had a TV room, one pota cabin was a bedroom, one pota cabin was our kids' bedroom, and one pota cabin was the kitchen. And in the middle we used to have this angan where we used to have 1 or 2 trees, and it was a shock. Like, I remember being like, how does Mom and Dad spend so much time with this house?
We both got married at the age of 19, 21. At the age of 19, when I was 19, he was 21, 22. His dreams of building an integrated steel plant was his only dream. He had a small factory in Vasan. At that time, we used to drive to Vasan and we would see Godrej on the left side. And Mr. Jindal and I would say that one day we will do much bigger than that.
Mr. Jindal would travel many parts of the world and see various steel plants and then look at them and dream about something like that in India. One of the visits he did to POSCO. POSCO is a steel plant in Korea, one of the largest in the world. He wrote in their guest book that he really liked the POSCO steel plant, and he wrote that one day he would like to create a plant like that in India. And that dream was born.
First of all, I'm an engineer, so I love technology, and that is my strong point. I believe that it's only through technology that we can make a difference. So when we were building, I felt that, I want to build a steel plant of the 21st century. I went around the world looking at various plants. My father also sent me, when I finished my engineering, he had sent me to Japan to learn how steel is made and how businesses are run. So I trained myself in Japan. Then I went to POSCO, I was there, and that became my idol plant that I want to build something like that. So when the opportunity came, I had these images of these factories in Japan and in Korea, and I replicated that.
The main thing which I was very puzzled when he told me that he was going for Corex technology. So Corex technology was not proven in India at that time. It was working only at 1 or 2 places overseas. That is also not very well known. Then the way he explained to me that India is deficient in terms of energy. We import energy into India. So therefore energy is very expensive, number one. Number two is coking coal is not available in India, which we have to import. So if we have a technology where it is not energy intensive, environmental friendly, and it doesn't use coking coal, I think that can solve the problem of making this unit very cost efficient and cost effective.
Initially, the steel plant was built with the Corex technology, which was one of its kind at that point of time. It actually makes hot metal, which gets transformed into slabs and then gets transformed into hot rolled coils. And we had a problem in terms of the Corex technology, so early days, early failures. But we came back. The second challenge, I think, the big one which came across was the Lehman Brothers challenge. So New York, usually there is a World Steel Conference in New York in the month of June, and the steel price had gone up very, very sharply. One of the largest steel producers in the world said that this is the way it is likely to be. Come September 15th, and the world collapsed. When this particular thing happened, for 15 days to a month, we couldn't really believe that, these things are slowing down. So we kept producing, but within a month or so, we realized that the consumption started really sharply dropping. It came to a point where people said that please don't send material to us, we don't have place to store. After we digested what was happening in the country and in the world, we took a very difficult decision of shutting 2 blast furnaces. In JSW Steel, we have never cut production. So that was something which was culturally in a DNA of our kind just not possible.
In business, and especially in large business, you will get these shocks. So you have to be prepared and you have to be thick-skinned to handle these shocks. You can never say that journey will remain smooth. These challenges happened, and we took them in our stride. We said, well, Lehman Brothers crisis is a crisis which is not done by us, not done by me, not done by this plant. It is a global phenomenon. Everybody is suffering. So we were also suffering. So I have a philosophy that something which is not in my control, why stress about it? Just enjoy it. Don't worry.
I think most devastating was 2011, deep supply chain disruption caused by mining ban in Karnataka. When the plant was operating almost close to 80-90% capacity utilization, we have a stock of only 6-7 days because iron ore mines next door to us, so we don't keep much stock. Suddenly mining ban has happened and no movement of iron ore also from mine to the plant. Then we have to survive.
We were feeling that what we are going to do, it was a matter of time overnight. Supreme Court put a ban and we did not know what to do. We can set the import coming in. We can see that the material coming from the outside states. In fact, I was telling the team when we were having a conversation, I said that when the ban was put, I felt like my hands were cut. But still I was able to run. But I know my legs are also going to be cut over a period of time. But the confidence and the courage and the DNA of the team was there. I said that even if my heads were cut, my body will grow and the plant will be ensured running.
We invested in the beneficiation plant at that time, where we can use low-grade iron ore, which is not possible for others to use. That is what we have done prior to the crisis. So that has really become handy to us when the crisis came in. So when iron ore mining was banned, so we went and got those heaps of iron ore, which was very low-grade iron ore, because we already had the beneficiation plant at that time. So we were able to use that iron ore, beneficiate, and then run the plants. That is how every time there is a solution as and when crisis came in, because of the way we have prepared the organization, that notwithstanding whatever that comes in, we'll be able to get out of that issues. Yes.
That is the kind of attitude we have in JSW Vijayanagar, not only with me, every individual who have gone through the setbacks after the setback, monster after monster, we are willing to face the challenges. We always believe that our status quo is to challenge the challenges.
कोरोना से निपटने के लिए सरकार हर मुमकिन तैयारी कर रही है। कारोबार बंद है, बॉर्डर बंद है, स्कूल बंद है, मंदिर बंद है, यहाँ तक कि देश बंद है।
We also have experienced the once in a century pandemic problem, that is COVID.
It was a very much a challenging one, especially during the COVID wave 2. It was not that when we were debating about running the plant, we were thinking whether it is profitability or the people. We as a management decided it is people over profit.
The second wave when hit India, oxygen became the lifeline of the people, and we are the largest producer of oxygen in the country, JSW Steel. Because steel, oxygen is a kind of a raw material for making steel. There was a big demand, so I told, there was a standing instruction that the priority has to be given to for saving the lives. We cut down our production of steel, and eventually we were only using as much oxygen, which was gaseous oxygen, and all the liquid oxygen was going to the hospitals and everywhere.
So we decided, if we are not able to take the oxygen to the patients, let the patients be brought to the place where the oxygen is available. JSW Steel Vijayanagar has got the largest oxygen manufacturing facility. We created 1,000-bed oxygenated hospital by putting a pipeline for 4.5 kilometers in 14 days. And we created the hospital, brought many people, not only the JSWH, the community, the villagers, the people from Bellary. It was a contribution by JSW Steel Vijayanagar towards the society, and that gave us a lot of returns in the form of blessings.
So if I see the ups and downs in this 25 years journey, there are so many challenges which have come in. But every time I think JSW became stronger.
And I think Mr. Jindal's will of perseverance, his basic DNA of accepting a challenge and seeing that what we can do about it, galvanizing the entire team together to look at a common target and a common goal and make sure that we all strive towards that end. I think each of these challenges we have faced in that unique manner and come out.
Challenges are in a way a good thing to happen, and it keeps you awake, it keeps you fit, it keeps you running. More than 30,000 people work here, but we have never lost a single day to any of labor strife, or there is never any discussion about it. In our family, there has been a tradition. My father, my uncle, everybody believed that before a person asks for something, you must provide for it and provide more. So if I think like that at the top of the pyramid, then the whole organization thinks like that.
I also remember one very, very important event. Budgets were constrained, so we used to control the budgets every time. So Mr. Jindal wants to set up a housing colony for the outsourced employees. So I was not clearing the budget. Then Mr. Jindal telephoned me from Vijayanagar. He did not ask me anything. He said, have you ever at any time went to Dharavi and saw how people live there? I said, no, I have not gone there. Then the next thing, you wanted another Dharavi to be created at Vijayanagar. I understand there are budget constraints, but if you don't take care of the outsourced employees, then how will they live here? If you see the outsourced colonies which we have created, the facilities which we have created at Vijayanagar, it is outstanding. It is equal to any other colonies which we have. I think that has really shielded the company. Whenever crisis came in, the employees stood up at JSW.
Creation of an infrastructure, creating the railway stations, creating your bus stand infrastructures, creating township and facilities to attract the talent apart from creating the steel plant, creating an airport at our place so that we could further access in better time. But more than that, I think was Mr. and Mrs. Jindal's idea as well, to see that we develop the community around us, we develop people around us.
When I used to go to all the villages, and there I saw that there are these young children. So I decided that I will do a Tamanna school for children, where I send a bus to all the villages around And all the children, either they're autistic or they're blind or they have some problem in their legs or do they have any mental disabilities, we pick them up and we take them to Tamanna and we look after them. If I cannot help the people around me, I have failed. We have just started a handloom school where all the ladies in the village taught how to create cloth. I have also done the BPO for women. We have a nursing college for women so that they can pursue in their career and their growth path. Again, as self-motivation and self-employment to the women around. Another passion project that we're doing is this Hampi Art Labs, which is a residence artists all over the world. So I went with Mr. Jindal to POSCO in Korea, and at that point my Kaladham was built and Mr. Jindal said, there's one thing that we have done, no other steel plant has this kind of beauty. We've added beauty somewhere in the mundane area.
If you talk to any of the Indian athletes and when you ask them what separated them from the people who used to win the Olympic medals and the Asian Games medals and all, and they will all talk about infrastructure. When I went abroad, I played for my college over there also, and I saw the kind of facilities that were available. Even for a college athlete, we had sports scientists, sports nutritionists, sports medical professionals. And when I came back to India, not even the Indian athletes who were representing India at the Olympic Games had this kind of facilities. And that is only, I'm talking 2011-12. I really wanted to change that. I pitched the idea to my dad. He's also very passionate about sports and about India. Big credit to the Vijayanagar team because they supported us like crazy. They gave us the platform. They allowed us to come there and build this institute. And today this institute is giving India so many medals. It's giving India medals at the Olympic Games, at the Asian Games, at the Commonwealth Games. If we hone the talent in the right way, we can do anything. I give a lot of credit to Vijayanagar for Neeraj Chopra's Olympic medal also. Because IIS was in Vijayanagar, IIS has become successful. We always like to think of every JSWite as a family member. That culture stems from the way in which we build our townships, the way in which we build our sporting facilities, the way in which we build the schools, the hospitals. People appreciate that culture. And that's why they are here with us and we are there with them.
So safety is a very important parameter of our business, and I think we are very conscious to see that everybody is safe when they come to our plants and leave our plants safe. So safety training is adopted as a culture, and we train all our workforces, including people who are on contract or associates or permanent employees. We have created in Vijayanagar a safety training center where simulators are available to actually physically test a particular event, and we run people through that training process so that they actually experience what happens. If you go and work at a height and there is a chance of a fall, so the people go through that process of training where they go to a height, and if they fall, what does happen, how it can be prevented, etc. So that simulation center is there.
The flagship manufacturing plant of the JSW Steel Group is Vijayanagar location. So here, safety is non-negotiable. Safety is a part of our culture. It's a top-driven kind of a concept. Encouraging the employees with the smart safety champions, safety heroes, all those things created a kind of impact to make safety as the part of culture in Vijayanagar. Today, we are proud that safety has been set as a standard benchmark for others to follow.
You know, in nation building, people, let's say, are the heart of this of the body, and steel is the spine. If we all work together to build the nation, then we can grow our businesses. Bellary was one of the poorest districts of India. What this plant has done, it's transformed the whole district.
What is more important also is that what we have done to the ecosystem around us, the society, the community, creating employment. We became the largest employer, the largest industrial employer probably in Karnataka, one of the largest contributor to the exchequer, making sure that we take care of the children around us in terms of education, health, women around us. Multiple initiatives were done for rural transformation, social welfare. So it's the entire ecosystem of Vijayanagar which came up with the steel plant.
Today, as we speak, we have painted this plant with a greenery. You could see more than 18 lakh trees have been planted across the 7,800 acres. It is a 3-degree difference between this place and Bellary because of the trees and the rain what we could bring over here. The impact JSW Steel made on the society, be it in terms of economy or be it in terms of social initiatives, it is phenomenally high.
No, you feel very proud that we have achieved a lot. We had nothing else but hard work. Many of my friends and everybody in my society, where you're going Friday night and where you're going Saturday night. For us, there was no Friday night or Saturday night. Our holidays were Vijayanagar.
We never really had any holiday homes. What culture they created from very early on was they wanted to build a holiday home inside the factory. That was their way of making sure that we all 3 kids go with them. Very smart thing that they did, which made us go there on the weekends, and Dad would continue to work. Mom would have cultural events with all the women. We would interact with all the children. Some of my closest friends who I learned how to play squash with were all kids of JSWites. Together we all grew up together.
JSW is come to a very solid state right now, in a very strong situation. Next growth of Vijayanagar is to take it from today's 12.5 million tons capacity to 25 million ton capacity.
From that barren piece of land, I think Vijayanagar became today the largest steel plant in India. And now we are likely, I was in POSCO in May, and when I met the chairman there, he said, now you will be larger than us.
India's largest steel plant and soon the world's largest steel factory will be at Vijayanagar is something that we could not even have imagined 25 years ago. I think only one man must have imagined it, and that's Dad.
So I think always aiming big and believing that it can happen. I think that has made this company or this group so big today.
Although there were odds, but the dream was too big, and obviously he wanted to grab it. And we've had lots and lots of problems. If people think that 25 years and it was sail smoothing, it was nothing like that. Everything is a lot of hard work and perseverance. I'm very proud of what we have achieved.
Time has just flown by, and it seems like yesterday that I was building the plant and standing there, and so it's been a journey which is full of enjoyment, full of satisfaction, I must say. And yeah, I'm very proud of Vijayanagar.